Thank you, Mike. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, July 20th, 2026 meeting of the Village of Lansing Board of Trustees. Jody Dake is away tonight, and I want to thank Mike Scott for sitting in for her and getting our agenda packages ready for you. My first order of business is to do a roll call. Susan Ainsley.
Present.
Carolyn Greenwald.
Here.
Pat Gillespie. Here. Kathleen Yen.
Here.
And Lonnie Hardaway is here. We have a full quorum. The next order of business is the public comment period. This is the period of meeting with anyone who is in the room or online, may speak to any topic that is not already on the agenda. Is there anyone in the room who would like to speak?
I'm Lorraine from Trustee, and I'm here as the planning board liaison.
Thank you, Lorraine. Any others? Anyone online who would like to speak at during public comment? Seeing none, hearing none, I will move that we close the public comment period.
Second.
That was.
I don't know. Yeah, I think we'll give it to Carolyn this time. Carolyn seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, our next order of business tonight is a presentation from the Joint Youth Commission. Pat, would you mind introducing our speaker?
Sure, we have two. We have Rick Alvord and Lorraine from.
Thank you, Pat. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Rick. Thank you. We're ready for you. We might have, you want to share a presentation with us?
Yeah, can I get the ability to share my screen?
Yeah, we're doing that right now. Just tap inside.
Oh, want to share?
Yeah, share. Sharing yours. Just go to share again, hit the arrow next to it. Share with. Close that window. I think there's.
What if we go to
The
Yeah.
three dots next to the.
There we go. Changed the.
Yeah, it did change it all.
They changed the interface.
I might be able to send a request.
It's the one below it. Who can share? Host only. You just had it a second ago. Go back.
those on the?
You want that? Be able to.
Should be able to now.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Sorry for the delay.
So yeah, Lorraine is here with me tonight. Lorraine has been on the Joint Youth Commission for many years, and she's going to lead the presentation. But we would like to start with a short video. I'm hoping that this will work.
This video is just a quick introduction to our 5 funded programs.
Are you still there?
Sorry.
Okay.
Can you see the video?
No.
No. Well, I can just begin and
Sorry about that. The video wasn't showing.
No, no.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'll just begin. I am Lorraine Moran. I'm one of the seven current Joint Youth Commission representatives. And as he said, Rick Elvord is our technical assistant from Tompkins County Youth Services. He's the coordinator of community services. Um, he has just been named the new deputy director of Tompkins County Municipal Youth Services. So congratulations to you, Rick. I just saw that you were named the new deputy director.
Well,
Um,
congratulations, Rick.
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you.
congratulations. We have 12 quick slides tonight about the JYC structure and mission and the 5 programs we oversee. And we hoped 2 short videos. Maybe we only have one.
Yeah.
The JYC is a collaboration of 4 municipalities, the Village of Lansing, the Village of Cuga Heights, the Town of Caroline, and the Town of Ithaca. The reason the collaboration makes sense is that these townships all feed into the Ithaca City School District and form a donut around the city. About 10 years ago, these 4 villages and towns joined forces, pooling their funding to be able to contract with a broader array of youth services for our town and village youth. Our commission does needs assessment, decides which programs to fund, and monitors those programs. The video we don't have, right, Rick? It's
Yeah.
just
Sorry,
coming up.
Lorraine.
Okay, that's okay. Um, so moving on, second slide. Um, this is our revenue stream, our funding chart simplified. You see up in the left that we get a small amount of monies that New York State gives every county. I think it's like $800 or something. We then get also monies from Tompkins County from their youth development funding and from the municipal youth services. The townships then kick in funds, and you'll see in the middle there the town of Ithaca. The town of Ithaca administers and handles all our contracts and to the funded programs. And then you see the Joint Youth Commission, we are a committee of the town of Ithaca. And those funds are then distributed down to the 5 programs that we contract with. Over on the right side, you see the names of the folks on our Joint Youth Commission here. We've often had 10 people. We currently have 7. Next slide. Okay. Our main priorities are first-time youth employment, job and career readiness, and youth development activities for middle and high school youth, mostly middle school youth. This translates into different things, but one of them is actual paid summer employment, subsidized summer employment jobs. It also translates into, for instance, our main youth employment program is YES that we contract with, but they have an online pre-program extensive manual that all the youth have to kind of do and go through. It's called Yes Connect. It's got interest inventories. It has how to fill in timesheets, how to make a resume, getting working papers, and all the things you kind of need to do to become a new employee. Our second priority is youth development, you see, and life skills. Largely, that's provided through Cornell Cooperative Extension, Rural Youth Services, and youth professionals go into the schools and after school offer activities that align with youth interests. They also provide programming on school breaks, the whole week of school breaks. Next slide, Rick. And this one is
Yeah.
for you, Rick.
Yeah. Um, this slide, I just wanted to illustrate the sort of rigorous oversight, monitoring, and evaluation that the JYC does. They meet every month on the second Tuesday at 7 p.m. And each of the five funded programs presents to the JYC twice a year. And then JYC is able to ask them questions and sort of, and then they're also responsible to submit a monthly report that JYC will review. And then if they have questions, I, as the county liaison, will go back to those agencies and try to get those questions answered. In addition, on the left, you'll see a program monitoring site visit form. One of the JYC members, who are volunteers, will go to on site to one of the programs and interview youth, interview staff, and rate them based on that site visit. On the right side, you'll see a funding rubric that we're trying to institute this year. The JYC is on a 3-year funding cycle. Once an agency is awarded, they can apply each year for renewal funding. And then on the fourth year, it's an open funding cycle where we invite new programs in the community to apply for JYC funds. But each year we're going to be using this rubric to kind of help us guide our funding decisions and be more informed.
And so on to our the 5 programs that we have selected to fund. They've been pretty stable, these 5 programs, I guess, for the last maybe 8 or 9 years. I think they've been the same, with one exception, which we'll get to. But so the first program that we fund is Cornell Cooperative Extension Rural Youth Services Program. The Cooperative Extension has 6 youth professionals that go out and handle different areas of the county. We, as a commission, have one assigned to us. Her name is Beth Bannister. She's a seasoned youth professional who's been with us for many years now. And these youth professionals offer after school programming, mostly in the middle schools, DeWitt, Boynton, LACS, New Routes, sometimes in the 5th grade of the elementary schools, and a few programs in the high school. They also do school breaks, and during the school breaks, it'll be a week of programming, and it might be bird watching and going to the Montezuma Wildlife Refuge up there. It might be the floating classroom for a week. It might be an Olympic sports week. It might be a trip to the Arnott Forest, those types of things. Examples of the after-school types of programs that they run are creative cooking, nature photography, Magic the Gathering, Art and Soul, Lunch Bunch, board games, geocaching, shrink art, and so on. Those are the kinds of things. And they're set up to run usually somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks in a row. And people sign up and attend those. Recently, I attended a program at DeWitt called Art and Soul. I met 5 very delightful young women. They were all interested in more time to make art. We were in the art room at DeWitt, and they all painted a picture that day. And several of them spoke about the fact that their parent could pick them up at 5 or 5:30, and that was a good deal for their parents, sort of too. 2 of them said that they liked time to decompress before they went home and had to do homework and other things. Anyway, I always ask how they found out about the program, and they found out about it through their parent. 2 were through word of mouth from other friends. One was from a sign that she had seen, and one was from Cornell Cooperative Extension's website. So I usually try to find out how they found out about the program. I recently also attended Magic the Gathering campaign, which is a fantasy card game, and it was at Boynton where there's about 8 young men. They're playing a game of strategy, role playing with these cards that have all manner of creatures and powers on them. There's some math involved. It's pretty social. It requires some real thinking about, what you're going to do with your powers that you were dealt, and and a kind of story making together. So, um, Cornell Cooperative Extension, we feel like we sort of get our money's worth with them because we get uh, the benefit, the youth workers get the benefit of being associated with Cornell Cooperative Extension, and they have vans and buildings, and so it sort of is there's some infrastructure there that we kind of make use of besides just the funds we're giving them. So that's Cornell Cooperative Extension. Moving on, we've got the Learning Web. Um, and you can see that we show how much money each one's getting and how many youth are served. The Learning Web does career tours, career exploration activity, and stipended apprenticeships. They also do a summer volunteer program where middle school youth learn about nonprofits. They go to those nonprofits and they help out for a day. Usually it's a couple days a week that program runs in the summer. And then they, at the end of that, devise their own sort of community give back project, which in most of my 25 years involves a bake sale, and all the funds are given to the SPCA almost every time. It's kind of funny. Anyway, the Learning Web also provides apprenticeships. The youth are interviewed about their career interests, and volunteer mentors are matched with the youth based on those interests. And they get they usually meet with their mentor and shadow that person once a week for maybe 6 to 8 weeks. There's some research to back up this approach in relation to youth, where you let them try on a career that they think or they believe they would have a high interest in. And we've noted that even when they find out they're not so interested in this career, that it's sort of instructive for them anyway. Um, so in terms of career tours, I go out a lot to the programs, and I went to this past year I went to Farmer Ground, which is an organic flower processing plant in Trumansburg, and I also went to the Ithaca Airport TSA, and I have to say the two TSA officials there gave an amazing sort of tour, not only of the airport and the TSA area, but what it takes to become a TSA officer. And the youth were attentive and asked some good questions. And one youth that was at the farmer ground just simply asked at the end, "Can I get a job here soon?" Which was kind of funny. Everybody was surprised by that. Um, I also spoke to 2 young women they were ninth graders at Ithaca High School that were pretty sure they wanted to go into law enforcement, and that's why they came to the TSA tour. I've attended quite a few others. Finger Lakes Independence, I have to say, I went to a tour there, and there was a young man who shared with the group that he had dyslexia, and that hearing staff talk about their own abilities, disabilities, and employment supports they were able to get he said was good for him, and that maybe he would like to become a counselor to help others. So that was also just sort of a nice ending to that Finger Lakes Independence tour. So that's the Learning Web. And we'll move on to Camp Coddington. That's our fourth program. Camp Coddington's on the South Hill. They have a beautiful piece of property out there. They recently have a big new capital improvement and a big new building. They're a daycare, but they also run a full-on summer camp for young people ages 5 to 12. I think it's usually about 60 to 80 youth, not exactly certain. I can't remember that number. But the JYC funded part that we fund is about 10 youth usually. They're usually 14 and 15-year-olds. They receive, they become a counselor in training, and get a subsidized job where they get 5 to 6 weeks of employment at minimum wage. They get an extensive orientation to caring for young campers. They get some child development information. They have to take a New York State Office of Family and Children background check, which is sort of interesting by itself, getting fingerprinted and all that. They usually bring in mad money management so that they can have a sense of what you might do with your first paycheck. There is an OCFS safety training, safety for day camps, and a sexual harassment training that they take. They also do regular check-ins with the supervisor on site. And of course, the main event for a counselor in training is that they will be assigned and shadow a senior counselor all summer long. By summer's end, they sometimes can take the lead on organizing some activities with small groups of campers on their own. Some of the CITs are able to do that. They follow a very routinized daily schedule with the campers as well. That's the Camp Coddington Counselor and Training Program we fund. And then we have the Youth Employment Service. A lot of people know this one. It's been around for a long time. Again, we youth get a subsidized summer job at a great variety of placements all over the community. The youth work about 20 hours a week for about 6 weeks at minimum wage. There's an extensive application and online workshop called Yes Connect, which I think I mentioned before, that's been developed and retooled over many years as sort of an orientation to becoming a worker. I have attended myself the student youth worker orientation, and I've attended the orientation that employers in the community must attend to have this subsidized youth working for them. As placement example, last year I visited youth that were placed on the Discover Ithaca boat tour down at Treman Marina. Usually they place 4 youth there. They had assigned duties related to boarding passengers and then other duties during the cruise. On the final boat tour date of the year, their last week of the job, the youth do all the narrating on the boat on aspects of the lake, the boat, the fish and wildlife, the geology and history, using their microphone system. And I wasn't able to attend that part last year, but apparently it's according to a few others who've gone to that, it's great to see 14-year-olds narrate the Discovery Cruise boat down Cuga Lake. Youth are placed in a lot of single small business around the community as well. And then Yes has one other sort of mini program. It's called the Youth Ambassadors, and that's somewhere between 15 and 20 youth who are somehow selected, and through United Way is involved in that as well. And these teens are sort of a formalized voice for local teens on issues that matter to them. And each year they do some kind of a project, and I'll just hold up this brochure. Let's see if I can. It's 10 ways to support a friend's mental health. This was the booklet they made last year. I have to say it's quite good. every year they do some kind of a project, and that was the project, I think it was last year. Um, so that's the Youth Employment Service. And we're on to the next. This is our last program, our newest program. This is the Youth Entrepreneur Market. And it's our newest program. I think it's since 2021. We started them with $10,000 funding. They now get $19,000. And YEM has been able to secure some grants and other donated funds, and this year became their own 503c3 nonprofit. The youth moved from an idea for a product to making the product to marketing the product. And Brown University provides materials on the entrepreneurial mindset. And now that's a manual that's given to the teens. Each teen attends 6 workshops: idea generation, product development, budgeting, the entrepreneurial mindset, how failure is fits into that mindset, telling your story, and marketing. And local entrepreneurs give talks to the group in several of those workshops, so which is very nice. They volunteer their time and do that. The marketing takes place at such events as the Chili Cook-Off, Apple Harvest Fest, Rootstock, Farmers Market, Reggae Fest, and a few others. Um, the culminating event each year for YEM is something they call Fish Tank, which is which takes their name from Shark Tank, where about 20 youth get up in front of parents, friends, the community, and hawk their product and tell their story. Um, Last year, I attended Fish Tank, and a young girl named Sloan won first prize. She made these very artful looking hot and cold packs. And her tagline was Sloan says relax. And there are all local entrepreneurs at that event that are the judges. I have to say they're a bit nicer than the Shark Tank judges by a pretty lot. We have a short video, don't we, about Yem?
Yeah, I'm going to cross my fingers here. I think I need to stop sharing and then
Okay.
reshare the video.
I could see it, but I can't hear it.
Pretty. All right. Lorraine, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still with you. I
Okay.
I didn't hear any audio on that. Did others?
Um,
No.
I'm
Oh,
so sorry.
not
I guess
JB.
I need to work on my video presentations inside the Zoom. I
Okay.
apologize.
Um, but you can kind of get the idea. That was one of the interesting things is two young men, their product was videoing things, and I believe they made that video for Yem as a way to promote Yem. So that was kind of good. They used their own youth that had been through their program. Um, okay, so those are our five programs, and I certainly invite any of you to attend any events by any of our programs. Each of our five programs has a website with their events listed and all kinds of information if you want to know anything about any of the five. Um, so this slide. The year in review, we're just so pleased that about 307 youth were served, over 4,000 hours in first-time employment. $77,000 were earned by youth workers via these programs this year, and there were 3,000 hours of youth development completed as well. So, um, we're pleased by that. The next slide, Rick. Yeah. So we do have challenges. One of the things it's we often get feedback that, we're not keeping up with inflation in our um, distributions to programs that are they're, cost for use, minimum wage goes up, the all the benefits that you have to pay out go up. So, for instance, in especially in the subsidized employment programs, uh, generally speaking, yes, used to serve like 40 youth. Now they serve somewhere like between 30 and 32 youth. So we're getting decreasing numbers, and then there's a waiting list. And so the 14-year-olds, many of them will not make it in, but if they reapply, they're told they may make it in the next year. Um, and then with like our other paid employment are the counselor in training at Coddington. They used to be 11 or 12 youth got that, but now we're getting, it's more like 9 or 10 would get a position. So they just decreased the positions sometimes because we have about the same amount of money to divide up. I've been on the commission for more than 25 years, and at this point, um, our funding in general has been somewhere between 190K and 255K. And there's been some up and down over the years, like 2008 was very down. But it hasn't changed a tremendous amount, and certainly some costs have gone up. So that is a bit of a stressor because we are almost never giving the agencies what they're asking for. Um, the other thing is that youth professionals have a pretty low pay scale, the staff on the programs, and so there's a little higher turnover than we'd like, and you sort of start over with a new person. That's always somewhat difficult. Um, and then another thing that's happening is we've always been a pretty full board, but we have vacancies on our own board right now, and we have for the last year or so. Um, Town of Caroline, we haven't had a representative for quite some time. The Village of Lansing representative, that's you guys. Um, we were just reviewing that, and we see in our bylaws that we have written down uh, a liaison and a rep. But what we realize is that over the years, the liaison slash rep has always been one person for you. So we might consider either changing our bylaws or something. We are really looking for a youth representative, and we've had at least 3 failed attempts recently where we thought we had one on the line, but it didn't come to fruition. So if you know any 15 to 18-year-olds, it's the commitment is the second Tuesday of each month, 7 to 8:30 at night. They learn a little bit about the sausage making of government entities. And it looks pretty good on a job application or a resume. So we're really looking for a couple of youth to be on our committee. We typically have been able to get one, but we have not in this past year. So those are some of our challenges. And here are a few demographics. The first graph, you can see the numbers of youth served from each township in the commission there. And then below that in the second graph, you can see the numbers served from 219 to 225, a little up and down there. And then the other two, the race and gender. And moving on. And that's it. The end. And any questions you might have.
I have a question. So I am not quite sure about the structure of the youth commission itself. By the way, I think your programs are fabulous. My kids have utilized all of them. I think we did 20 programs with Beth. Your middle-aged programs like promote mental health and or like reach those children that need to be reached at a time when they need to be reached and provide just the right amount of, I won't even call it intervention, but like pre-intervention support. And then your older age children, finding the job development is just a crucial part of the working society. But I don't understand what the Joint Youth Commission is. So no one on this commission has a paid position, or Rick, is this somehow paid for you, or it's just part of your Tompkins County work?
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm paid, and part of my work is to be a liaison. I help the chair, currently Erica, formerly Lorraine, set the agenda. I communicate with the programs to get them to come to the meetings and present. They send the monthly reports to me, and I put together a meeting announcement and agenda and take the minutes for the commission.
Because one of my sort of like overall concerns with youth programming in Tompkins County is that we have so many organizations and a lot of boards. And I'm seeing what you're doing, and I can see that it is not so much that you are another organization, but you're like a kind of a farm system. And that kind of makes sense to me. But on the other hand, when I know that we have a Learning Web and we have a JYC and we have a rec partnership and we have an Ithaca Youth Bureau, I look at that kind of not specifically to each group, and they're like, well, we do this and we do that. But globally, from a Tompkins County perspective, I would love there to be a more seamless or more a less board heavy organizational structure to Tompkins County Youth Services generally, not specifically to what you do, but I just hope that Tompkins County is thinking about it in that way. Because board time is, a lot of draining of our communities, just asset time. So I just wish there was less board time for all of these overarching organizations. And Lorraine, you're nodding your head. You've obviously thought about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a complex,
Yeah.
complex funding system in a way. It's interesting because I have told the Tompkins County Municipal Youth Services Department that without them doing the agendas, helping us with budgets, and doing all those things, the volunteer board, I believe, would fall apart. Volunteer boards would fall because we are volunteers who give, our 3 hours a week, and then we do some monitoring and we go out and do evaluations. But we are volunteer people who have an interest in youth. So I do think that, we have to have the county. I view the county youth municipal system as the backbone of what goes on, and but I think it does bring us closer to each township and what each township wants to have. That each town throwing in some funds, and it gives them a stake in it all, and it gives them a say in what kinds of things their smaller communities might want. For instance, when I was first here, uh, you know, the town of Ithaca by itself had its own youth program. And so, and you'll see that the town of Lansing has its own. But we have pooled together because we all are in the same school system, and we've pooled our funds so that we can offer more to that big donut of children and youth around the city. But there's the youth bureau that handles all the city kids. It is a complex whole thing. I agree with that.
Yeah. I would say the primary function of the commission too is to ensure that the municipalities, Town of Ithaca, Village of Lansing, and Town of Caroline, youth are prioritized and make sure they're being served. So we monitor those numbers each year, and try to equitably um, make sure you're getting your money's worth.
Mhm.
I guess if it was the exact same municipalities as the rec partnership, then there could be a way to combine the two organizations. Of course, you'd have to have buy-in from all of the municipalities. And actually, I just saw in the paper that one of the rec partnership municipalities is thinking of giving notice that they're going to leave. So I'm not saying you should rock the boat, but in an ideal world, they would be one organization.
The only thing about that is that the rec partnership is really focused on recreation, and these programs are mostly focused on youth development. And our particular commission decided to make first-time employment and career readiness a major focus because we feel like middle schoolers are ready for that, and the job market's not there anymore in the same
Brilliant.
way for them.
Programming choices are absolutely brilliant and incredibly necessary. And executed as good as they can be. Obviously, there's a greater need than you're serving because there's more youth that want to participate in at least the employment ones, not so much in Beth's. Hers are usually, only like you said, 5 or 6 kids, but certainly the employment ones are absolutely necessary. So I'm not saying anything critical about those. I think they're wonderful programs. I just wish that from a Tompkins County global perspective, we could streamline some of the youth services and then have less organizations and therefore you somehow save resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I just wanted to add to what Lorraine said. A lot of these programs are trying to get young people that may fall through the cracks that necessarily wouldn't be served by sports recreation, or wouldn't necessarily join a program. So each of the programs have a real, and that's what one of the things that JYC ensures is a strong recruitment and outreach effort to young people that may may not have a social group, may not be athletic, or may not otherwise participate in programs.
No, I agree. And the programs are necessary, but I'm just saying there could theoretically be an organization that had reached for both these categories of children and not 2 separate organizations.
Mhm.
It's food for thought as time
Yeah.
marches on and,
Sure.
Tompkins County
Absolutely.
thinks about this.
And
No,
not
that's a
only
good
that,
point.
but it's hard to get board people.
Yeah,
It seems a little harder to get volunteers these days. Yeah.
That's sort of what I'm aiming at. Like we are all representatives on multiple, ancillary boards, and the less that need is there, the more resources are available for other things. But I commend you on everything that you do in all your programs. We've used like 3 out of 5 of them as a family, and yeah, Beth's great, and the internship stuff is great, and Yes is great. So thank you for all of that. And thank you for 20 years of volunteering on those. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Um, it's actually really enjoyable being with the young people when I go to the programs. I really enjoy that part. Yeah.
Lorraine, I have a question. Have you solved or moved closer to solving the issue with transportation for youth to the different programs when they don't live near a bus line or have no family transportation?
I guess the answer is at times we have. In other words, Yes got free bus passes instituted somehow for a couple years in a row. When 2008 hit, 2 programs lost their vans, but I believe now Cornell Cooperative Extension got their van back. So
Yeah.
that is helps with, again, transport. And I will say this, Learning Web tries very hard to uh,
Use
almost
personal vehicles.
almost individually, take youth that are going to need that. If they say they need it, or if they can tell they need that kind of help. Um, I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the way, there was some concern over youth workers transporting youth. And so, liabilities and so on. So it really, it's been kind of on and off. So it isn't solved. But there's times when some programs are just making it happen. And I believe Cornell Cooperative Extension has its van back.
Thank you. Kathleen?
So that you answered the transportation question because I was going to ask you to elaborate. By the way, this was a terrific presentation and you have fabulous programs and really appreciate the work you do. But in terms of elaborating a little bit more on some of the challenges and barriers for instance, percentage of paid employees versus volunteers and everybody competing for those volunteer mentors and then also outreach to youth in the schools to try to what efforts are the
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Go ahead, Lorraine. Well,
Oh.
I'll start is that we really do benefit from Beth Bannister at CCE in the Rural Youth Services Program. She's been with the program for over 20 years herself, so she's really built some good relationships with the middle schools and has real good access to that. I think some of the other programs like the Learning Web are still working on access, but they'll table it during lunch times and they'll communicate with school counselors to get referrals. Some of the other challenges, Lorraine, do you want to speak?
You know, I'm trying to think. I believe that, so for instance, Yes always has a waiting list. What they do with that waiting list is that uh, they give them a handout and a uh, in-person discussion about other options to follow up to try, first of all, some of our other programs possibly for the summer instead of a paid position. Maybe look at Learning Web for a stipended apprenticeship. They sort of, each program is trying to refer to the other when they have a waiting list. Obviously, there's a little competition for the paid job types. We're trying to get Learning Web to maybe increase their stipends, which have to be educational stipends. It's not paid employee stuff. So it's a little bit harder, I guess, to make those happen. But we're trying to get that number increased. In terms of access to the schools and outreach, the schools have gotten a little tougher, I would say, for they have so much going on and they have so many safety concerns. For instance, just for me to go to that Art and Soul program, I waited a long time in the foyer and they had to make sure who I was. And then I had to get escorted down to the art room. And so I believe the programs are having a little harder time with access to the schools in general. And we've gone to the schools ourselves as a commission and tried to, but we haven't had a ton of success with increasing access. Occasionally, we find a guidance counselor who's a major conduit for people, referring people to the programs. They have a rule now about sending things home in backpacks, which is they say we cannot publicize all the programs that we have here all around. And so we're not doing that. We're not sending things home. We're a little bit upset about that because we're tried and true. Everybody's got background checks. We have, liability insurance for our workers. And so we feel like we still need to keep making a play to the schools about that because they're making it, they have a lot of things going on that they're trying to juggle. So they are getting harder to access, I would say, in general. And, that's the world today, is what it seems like. So we talk to our programs about that because they are talking to us about it, you know.
Yeah, we encourage all the programs to utilize every resource. So they're all on lots of the local listservs,
Yes.
and which includes homeschool youth and reaching out to homeschoolers.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of listserv now. There's a lot of, doing things that way, and youth are signing up on their own. But it's a little bit scattershot as opposed to, a whole bunch of stuff going home to parents in a backpack. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else for Lorraine or Rick? Thank you both for an excellent presentation, and thank you for your service, Lorraine and Rick. We look forward to hearing reports from Pat as he attends the meetings and comes back and lets us know what's going on. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Great to have
support,
Pat.
and thank you for having us.
Mhm. Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, moving on. Mike Scott passed out something that came up just today, correct, Mike?
Yes.
And we just kind of it's a quick bit of business, and I just wanted to try to get through it quickly. We received a request for a 30-day forgiveness on a local restaurant's liquor license. Mike, you want to give us just a little brief summary of what's going on?
I don't know anything more than what they sent to it. I know that they have a bar area set up there. The last fire inspection I went to, was not being used. I'm assuming that they now want to open all that up to try to attract some people in there. They do have a setup for a kitchen. I don't know I don't know the extent of what a menu could be at this point. But I'm certain that if something comes into there that's new and not existing right now, that I'll be running into it, and I'll be able to give you a little bit more information. But this is just the 30-day waiver for the alcohol license.
Okay, well, the alcohol license. So it's maybe just like a pub or bar food with the bar then, not a full kitchen, but we don't know yet, sure.
Yeah, they do have a bar set up up there. It's just, it wasn't open last time I was up there.
Okay, all right. So, and did they have one? Did they have an alcohol license before and it's expired, or is this the first time they've?
I don't know that. I did not have time to research just
Okay.
whether they'd had one before.
Okay.
I can find that out.
Okay. Do we want to get more research before we vote on this, or do you think it's?
You've given every single person
Yeah.
who's requested. a
That's what I
waiver,
was thinking.
It's not a forgiveness, it's
Yeah,
just a waiver
yeah, and it's.
of the 30-day wait period.
Mike says he's going to go in and inspect it anyway, so I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's really our decision, so.
No, I have no problem.
Kathleen?
This is the one at the airport. And they had an operational one before.
We're not sure.
I don't think we
Not
know
sure.
that. Their cover letter indicates potentially there was a prior license on the property. Looks like a transfer application from a prior license, but if that license is still active or has lapsed at this point.
You're still gonna have to get whatever they
Yeah,
have
the
to get.
SLA is still
It's
gonna
a
have to approve
waiver of
it.
the 30-day notice requirement period.
No, I'm okay with it. I was just wondering.
Move that we waive the 30-day notice requirement period.
Yeah.
I second.
Carol moves, Susan seconds. Is there any other discussion on this topic? All those in favor of giving this the 30-day waiver, passing this 30-day waiver of the notification for the SPAR, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay, the next order of business is emergency preparedness plan. I was wanting to discuss this tonight, but Kathleen has some extensive comments that I would like to take offline and confirm that they are appropriate for the village's emergency plan before we go through this line by line and discuss it. I think that it's not the best use of our time. I will go through these comments and Kathleen, if you will send me a Word document with these comments, then I will address them, and if need be, place what you're suggesting or make the changes or revisions you're suggesting in our document. But for just to go through these 4 pages line by line, I think it's just too much for this evening. I would like to check these and go through our version for the village before we discuss it at our next meeting.
I think it's a great, it's an excellent draft, and the comments you'll notice are pretty minor.
I just want to
Yeah,
confirm.
there was just one that was suggesting a format of using a table rather than just text for the departments and the responsibilities. And it just sort of incorporated a couple from the pandemic plan and the template.
Okay, I will make those changes, and I will send, as I comment on this sheet, I will send a copy of what I've addressed and how, along with the updated emergency preparedness plan, so people will see what was happening. Is that okay with everyone?
That's
I mean, I did see one typo.
Oh.
Might be, it'd be an easy fix.
Is it a good word or is it just a bad word?
You just let the letter out.
Oh,
Page-
it wasn't me, it was the computer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Page 3, line 11.
Page 3, line 11.
yeah,
Tom?
Because it's
when I tried to comment on the document, it just kept disappearing every time I came back to it. So that's why I wrote out line this, line that. And I may have some typos.
The phonetic spelling.
Yeah, it is. It's a silent P. Why do you put it in anyway? So, okay, all right, thank you. All right, I've got that too on this version. So I will do that for the next meeting, and there's no immediate deadline for this. I was just trying to get it completed, but we will still get it completed. So thank you all. So moving on, this is a really important discussion. It's fairly easy, but post-retirement health insurance. I looked at the spreadsheet that Randy Smith put together for us 3-4 years ago, and all of the information was good. But what I found most beneficial this time was that I could do an artificial intelligence search on what participants in the Greater Tompkins County Municipal Health Insurance Consortium do for their retirees. So it consolidated that in the summary, and it made it a lot clearer than going, because almost all of the if not all of the municipalities that Randy had contacted personally are all members of that consortium, and they have been looking at retiree health benefits too. So that's what I provided to you at the end of the package that I sent you. Basically, according to Jody, this retiree health benefit was inserted in 2010 when
Ben Curtis.
Ben Curtis, thank you, was getting ready to retire. And so it was inserted in the handbook, and it has not changed since then. So since 2010, 16 years, we've been asked for at least the last 2 budget cycles, and maybe even the last 3, if we could look at this and potentially look at how we could expand, as a village could expand our retirees' health benefits. So the table that I gave you, the very first page, is basically just summarize what we do now. I think the biggest concern from what I understand and is that the caps annually are $200 a month, which is very low for medical expenses for retirees now, especially after 16 years. So I would like to look at that. The retiree health benefit page is just the page where that within the employee manual, that the text part of what I summarized within the table. And then the appendix I sent because Carolyn was curious about if there had ever been any other changes to the retiree health benefits. And I wasn't sure. I looked through, I didn't see it except for Jody's clarification that in 2010, the retirees' health benefits was inserted, and that was on June 7th, 2010, right in the middle of that appendix list. So were there any questions about the material? I'll do the best I can to answer what I put together.
Realizing how complicated it is. Thank you.
It is and it isn't. I mean,
Look through, but sorting out what was and what is now.
the hard part's asking the right question. Yes, is what I'm saying.
The reason I was asking that 2010 year or what the year was that set is because there's an easy comparison between what those dollars were when it was set. So what was the village's intention in 2010? What would that be in today's dollars? That was what I wanted to.
Oh, yeah, that I didn't do that.
Well, I did. It's like 2,400 is like 3,600, something like that. So I just wanted to know like what that number was.
Thank you for doing
Because
it.
it's been 15 or 16 years, cost of living adjustment.
Have gone up.
But my main question is for Natalie. So if the village put something in the handbook, it's not like a contract negotiation with like the teachers union. So if the village were to be in dire straits and the employee was hired with an intention of this retirement package, would the village make a future adjustment, or is there some kind of contractual obligation to keep those numbers as they were at the time of hiring when you signed the employee handbook?
I don't think the village would be bound in perpetuity to whatever the policy was at the time of employment, because they're always subject to change. Specifically, if there would be a change for the better for an employee, they wouldn't be bound by a lesser
I'm not
benefit.
thinking of a plan for the work.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in either direction, I don't think that they would be bound from a one-time agreement at the time of employment.
Because I would be hesitant to handcuff the future, not knowing the economic status, but I don't think it is that, because this is what happens when I see you look at schools. Like they'll make some agreement for the teachers where they're gonna kick the can down the road and pay them more in the future, and then the future comes.
And they don't pay.
And then they can't fire this person, and then this person has crazy benefits, but this person gets no benefits, so they can't hire, blah, blah, blah.
Kind of like postal service retirement.
Is that a sweet,
Debacle.
is that a sweet retirement package?
Yeah, that's why we're
Yeah.
losing money.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can't-
yeah.
they
So
can't
that's
afford
what
to pay
I would do.
retirees.
I don't want to say what the future of the economic, but if you feel comfortable saying it's not a contract,
Do a little bit more.
okay.
That's just my off the cuff thoughts.
So I would want to find out the answer to
Yeah,
this
that's
question before we
that's a good question.
solidify anything.
Can we adjust it up or down in the future? Obviously, we can adjust it up. Who's going to complain?
Right.
But cutting someone's benefits when they've been relying on this as a monthly income or annual income might be, could be difficult for them. So
And didn't we at one point have a request by a retiree
yes,
to adjust
yes,
because of some circumstance?
yes.
We never fixed that language, Natalie. We talked.
Well, I
about it.
printed out the three options that were emailed in November
I wish that we had just taken care of that, like, right, and not forgotten about it.
about how to handle a spouse
Yeah.
coverage for an individual. I can recirculate the three options that I discussed with NICOM.
Yeah.
What if the handbook were an annual thing instead of just upon hiring? Just so it could be updated, because there are things that probably are other things that are probably outdated in that.
If a part of the handbook is changed, like if the handbook is updated, even if it's just a small section, the employees have to be made aware that the change is there, and they have to read the new copy and sign the back. If you'll notice on the appendix page I sent you, uh, there's a little signature on the back page to show that the employee read that, and Jody keeps a copy of that to show that the employee read it. Yeah.
Even when we're with retirees, when there's been a change.
That I don't know, but at least the current employees would know, but I don't. We've never had an episode until the one recently when it was a special request of changing the amount up or down. So I would think that if we change it up per employee's request, it's a good thing. If we're going to have to somewhere down the road cut that, reinstitute a smaller cap or whatever we do to the retiree health benefits, we would have to communicate that with them. For sure.
But when we, by signing it, they acknowledge they've received it
Yeah,
and are aware of.
of the current version. But if
That's
they,
it.
yeah, but if they retire,
But they read it. It doesn't bind them.
no, it doesn't. It's just that they understand that there was a change and
I mean, it's paperwork.
yeah, it is paper.
I mean, the amendment section is pretty clear. I don't know how enforceable that section would be, but no coverage, rights, or benefits issued, described, or granted hereunder are guaranteed is the last sentence of that benefit.
Right.
So I think we at least put them on notice that it could change, but I'll clarify with the Labor and Employment
Okay.
Department.
Yeah. It won't hurt more we would do it.
And if they're actively involved and paying attention to their benefits package and a long-term employee, we need to do our due diligence and make sure that they understand, and a conversation, call the consortium, they need to know what they've got.
Right.
And not just signing a bunch of paperwork at the date of employment because
No.
they're not reading it. They're signing it because we say sign it.
Well, I think that they will read the, I got feelings if they're close to retirement, they're going to read that page. It's just a feeling I have.
Well, I mean, we have to set a pattern that we make sure that they read it and
Yeah.
follow up
Yeah.
and ask them and make sure they have. Because if we don't have a signed copy in their folder, then.
Yeah.
I don't see in your AI summary, just like a summary, what is the percentage of like Trumansburg and Caroline?
Oh, it would not tell me individual municipalities. It would only give me a summary.
So we have to go back to Randy.
Range. Yeah, but I think that it was the same thing, is that the ranges were all over the place. And we have to kind of pick one that was good for us. The ones that we have right now, what we're offering is great. What's hard with that is the cap. It sets only so much per year that we will give someone at 60% of their Medicare costs, or pre-Medicare, or Medicare would be 100% of Plan G. They would be responsible for plans A and B, but Plan G, we would pay for 100%. But there's still a cap on that, up to the cap.
2,400 right now.
Yeah. So our discussion needs to be, do we want to remove a cap and just make it a percentage, or do we want to leave them as a percentage and set a higher cap that's more fair?
Well, I would bring the cap up just for 16 years. It's been 16 years have passed.
But I would also look at with the consortium. Consortium isn't just Tompkins County.
No. No, it's almost statewide now. True. Almost.
I look at all those people that have signed in on it.
Yeah.
All over.
So
So that's also tied, I think, to the union contracts. That we're not a union shop.
no, we are not.
However, it drives employment opportunities in the village of Lansing.
What year did you become Medicare eligible?
65.
And how old, Sean?
50. Yeah,
John's 53 and he's gonna retire in a few years.
he hopes.
Wow.
Physical work, you have to. Get
So he's
the,
gonna retire at 56 and how old is Jody? She's a bit
Wait a
older.
minute, is this a conversation we should be having about retirement age of our employees?
Okay,
yeah, that's, should not be.
I'm just wondering about how many years they would be.
Is this a matter of public record?
Because there's a
It's just to
different,
get a thought of how long they would go without Medicare.
Yeah.
yes.
The average lifespan for women is 85. The average lifespan for men is 80. However, if you've done hard physical work, your age,
You're going darker than I just went. I was figuring out the difference between the non-Medicare retiree and the Medicare retiree.
This is part of my research, Mary. What you're asking is how long are we going to be paying?
And how many stories can I tell you about physical labor
Yeah.
and the wear and tear on joints?
53.
So,
Look at the actuary tables.
But you
Um,
have to be careful to move it.
So I have a good question. Uh, In addition to staff, how about board members that have been around for 20 years?
you're not, you're not on the village retirement plans. Or
I don't know, that's a question.
Mechanism.
Is there? No,
No,
okay.
no, it's only for staff. It's not for board members. So, and the discussion tonight is staff. So you were going to send us some information and do a little research.
Yes, and then I can recirculate the question about what happens when they're on the spouse plan. I
Right.
come up with 3 options on how
Okay.
to address that issue.
We can jointly decide that that's a good idea. Then we don't have that hanging, because I've been wondering about that.
Yeah.
Dug it up.
Okay, and so we'll get some more information. So my goal with this, if we can't make a decision tonight, is to at least keep the ball rolling in the right direction. So can you give us information for our first meeting in
Mhm.
August?
Yeah.
Natalie? Okay, so we'll put this back on the agenda for our August 3rd, I think it's the third meeting, it's third. On that evening, so we'll discuss it a little bit more. And obviously, if we have to go into individual employees, we will have to go into executive session, but I don't think we'll need to. do that.
I don't think that's necessary.
No.
And is there anything else that I can give anyone in here information, any more research you want me to do?
No, thank you.
I don't mind. I went as far as I could to get us started and good questions. So, if it's okay, we will just table this conversation until the first meeting in August. And be thinking of questions. It's not, obviously, we have time to get things done and do it right, but I do want the employees who are close to retirement to see that we are considering this and we're going to make a decision at some point.
Because often, in my experience, there have been cases that an employee will want to extend their employment because of their individual situation. Life changes, maybe they will have a spouse, for instance, who or old or younger.
Yeah.
But at least it raises the question, and I think it's up to us as a board to be sure to help the employees understand why it is they're here. And if we need to continue to support them. And that's
Especially people who have been or shooting for 20 years and to retire. So they've invested a lot of time and effort and energy in our village, and we need to make sure that we take care of them to the best ability that we can as a village without financially putting us in a bad position.
well said, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all. Moving on. I have one little topic and then we'll go into general discussion. Did you all get the email? I think I sent it to you from William Klepak. If not, he's working with Lorraine to use the Community Entertainment and Events Committee, trying to keep the name straight.
Yeah.
It-
Community.
Engagement. I don't know why it's say entertaining. It's entertaining to me. I guess that's what it's.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So his question, he thanked us for allowing it to happen at the Harthill Park, but he was talking with the other members of this group that was be singing. And they were wondering if maybe they could move the second night, instead of 2 nights at Harthill, move one night to Phil Dankert or Ned Hickey. And
Why not?
my concern with Ned Hickey is that's not so much an apartment or a place where there are a lot of population. It's residential homes, and I don't know if they would approve.
I think it's a first come serve for open park. It's not a
Mhm.
trustee determination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
The park and sing, they should go to the park and
I agree.
sing. We should
Yeah.
just,
Okay.
we're informed, but there's no decision to be made.
Yeah. So if so, I just let him know that we wouldn't have a problem with any of the parks or pavilions if they so choose to move. Is that okay?
I think it's Brandon Joy.
Okay. Right. I agree. To me, it sounds like an interesting event. Okay, moving on. General discussion. Pat, I'll start with you.
I have nothing new since Thursday.
Carol?
Same.
Same.
Okay. Kathleen?
Just Ashley Seafried's Southern Tier 8 is available on October 5th to talk about Climate Smart Communities, the 2026 program, funding, services, etc.
You said October 5th, right? Right. Okay. So that will be our first meeting in October. So, yeah. Okay, good. And I believe we copied, wasn't Jody copied on that? Okay, so Jody knows about it too.
To send a Zoom just in case something happens and she can't be here in person.
Anything else?
Yeah, Quio's tomorrow. It's the training on agricultural law. And it is, however, in person. There will be a recording after the fact. So that's the only thing that's coming up. Leah Webb's, you can drop off school supplies because there are collections at her office. And I think let me see, there's a teacher supply drive. YMCA, Ulysses in Trumansburg, the library, and her office, which is 217 North Aurora Street. So I just thought school coming up, just to be aware of that. Then Tompkins County and the city are reviewing their resources and policies regarding unsheltered homelessness. And they have a pilot administrative policy. There have been no other meetings since Thursday. So what else? I think that's it. Yep.
I've got a couple of things. One is that we scheduled the first demonstration from MuniBit on our website, so that's in place. I heard from Jackie Cote at Flourish Design. She wanted to know roughly would our budget be able to, our budget set for this project, would it be able to cover her costs, because it requires a lot more effort on her part to do all of the things we need done. So I told her it's public knowledge, but here is our budget line, but that's probably the maximum we can go. But at the same time, she's competing with 2 others, so they could come under. But I provided her that information.
Did we have this in the budget for this?
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was originally for migration management of the website.
I see.
but it can be applied to this.
Okay.
It's IT services, basically is what it's under. The Civic Plus, they are definitely going to get back to us, but they wanted to have their team evaluate all the questions to see what they could come up with. And once they get an idea of a good presentation, they'll give us some windows to have their demo, just like we did with MuniBid. So I'll just keep everyone involved and notified. The other thing is that tomorrow at 11:30 over at the YMCA, Leah Webb is going to be presenting the YMCA with a $5 million grant award for childcare. So they're going to have a childcare center in the, I guess, the northern wing of Y. And so you're welcome to come if you want to.
Ronnie?
Yes.
I think it's 2.1.
2.1?
2.1 million.
Okay. Ooh. Boy. Oh, that's right. For some reason, I changed a quote. I said 5 million. I said, it's not 5, it's 2. I got it mixed up with something else. 2.1 million. But they will have, the important thing is that they will have a childcare center there in the Y, which is something that we really need in this community and this county. So anyway.
What time is it again?
11:30 to 12:30. It'd be pretty brief. Leo Webb's going to be there and people from around. So that's all I have for tonight.
I have a question. Do we want to consider social media policy and procedure?
We can. I mean, yeah, if we want to.
Are you asking, should we have a village Facebook page?
No.
A policy or how it's
Just a
But
policy.
if we don't have any social media,
Yeah.
we don't need a policy. But if you want to have social media, which I personally want to have social media, then we could
The
have.
village committee has a social,
yeah.
This is our first, yeah.
Right.
So then with regard to the village committee having social media, then maybe we do have a policy.
Because NICOM, it had, in 2024, they had just recommended if you have, what do you call it, Facebook, just to
Social
have some
media.
guidelines. Social media, thank you.
Social media
Right.
policy.com, and they should have one. They should have a
Before, I know that was one of the topics.
So we should be able to find that on their website, see if they can suggest one. Okay.
Because we have one.
Nothing extensive, just something really
Well,
short.
no, not a policy, but social media.
Now we do.
Yeah.
Never did until
committee has
last
a
week.
Facebook page.
Yeah, this is page considered, I mean, we can make it a non-government page.
But it's run by the committee. Isn't that part of the?
Well,
Yeah.
right, it is run by the committee.
Yeah.
It's not run by the village, but I did make it a government page, you can see that right on there.
Yeah.
And I did, my initial post, the very first post I posted was, information about the committee and that the resolution was passed. And so because I had that in there about the resolution being passed by the village board of trustees, that's why I made it a government page.
Yeah.
Well, I think it is a government
Yeah.
page. You're a Village of Lansing committee.
Yeah.
You're not just assembled individuals affiliated with the village.
Yeah, have a policy then, yeah.
We need
Yeah,
to.
good idea.
Careful.
And is the Facebook site, no posting allowed? It's for information only?
Left it open, but haven't had any issues.
Yeah, the policy might change that. But we'll let you know.
I mean, this, Kathleen, you're not on Facebook, so.
No,
you don't
I know.
What I've been posting, so I would appreciate it though, if you would go in and somehow, you could just Google it and pull it up, so you can see.
No, I don't have a problem with any Facebook page or anything. I just think a policy would just protect the village and provide guidance in the future. That would.
Well, if you,
Put up a disclaimer on the page, which I didn't do, but I almost did.
but looking at the town of Lansing and the situation they're in currently with regard to the lawsuit.
Yeah.
But they have their Parks and Recs page
Yeah.
that is their active page. The government, the board doesn't have an active
That's
page.
my point.
Right, but this is parallel. So
In Rex page?
the post and parks and recs page are for, do they accept posts? That's a good question.
I mean, I see all the chatter on Facebook about the town, but I don't think there's a town page
Yeah,
that is
it's-
posting the chatter.
Yeah, it's a private group.
It's all individuals voicing.
Pages.
Mhm.
Well, we've got, I mean, we should be careful and
Yes.
proceed with caution at this point.
And this,
The town of Lansing and the villager of Lansing are constantly confused. Susan, what's going on in the,
oh,
because I'm village, but I'm Lansing.
yeah.
So yeah, Bonnie, looking at the Nikon page is a great idea.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And thank you, Kathleen. But this discussion proves the point that we probably need a policy.
Well, and I mean, this is just the brand new news with
Yeah.
the lawsuit and the town of Lansing.
Yeah. So we will get guidance from NICOM and present something as soon as possible. I will at least, if I find it, I'll send it out to you so we can all read through it and decide how we want to tailor it to our village. Okay, thank you, Kathleen.
All that big transparency word,
Yeah, big transparency.
if they can find
Yes, yeah. So it's good.
those people.
Yeah, well, I do think Lorraine's page has been extraordinarily nonpartisan.
Yes,
just
I agree.
bolstering the village activities, yeah.
Yeah. No,
But it is
Work.
affiliated with the village. So I don't think that distinction can be made.
yeah. So when we get working on the policy, we'll keep you involved because you've got the first page and we want to be sure that everything is done appropriately. Or if you say that this doesn't make sense, I can't do that on this. So we'll let you know. Okay, then if there's nothing else, then I will move that we adjourn.
Second.
Susan seconds. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you.